Hi, my name's Chad King. Welcome back to another session. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about networking and preparing the foundations even more of your lab. Currently the things that I'm looking at to do in my lab is I want to test upgrades and things of that nature. So obviously, as you can see, I have ESXi 4.1, which does not support 64-bit guest OSs, so only 32-bit for nested setups. I have already have my cloned template done. I wanted to kind of show you my virtual networking, kind of cover that. Obviously you have a few things that you have to be mindful of, and I still need to add a couple more, but obviously you're going to need a network for vMotion, a network for management, a network for storage, a production network for your VMs, and then of course you're going to need other things like storage backend replication, like the Solera NFS, things like that. Nick Weaver over at Nicopedia does a great job on that. And obviously it's important that you kind of highlight all your requirements as well for your lab. Obviously I'm going to be using a two-site configuration. I'm going to attempt to try to use another VMware Workstation installation, so that'll be an interesting workup if I can ever figure that out. It's a little bit more challenging than just your normal little, layer 2 networking management you can do within workstations. A lot easier. Separating subnets out for certain roles, and this will also help to keep both sites standard. So when I do actually do a site 2, everything will be 192.168 or 169 or whatever. That one subnet will change. And then of course, your networks, iSCSI, VM networks, production management, ESXi management. Production management meaning like VM infrastructure, VMs for like vCloud, hosting vCloud, stuff like that. Host configuration, memory, stuff like that. Try to match your production settings as much as possible. So we use a vSwitch for management network. So obviously we're going to be testing things like moving from a management network to a distributed switch, in place upgrade versus new deployment, and then of course we're going to look at different storage platforms, iSCSI and NFS. I don't have fiber channel, obviously it's a nested lab setup. The domain, kind of what the domain name is going to be, the functional level, the naming conventions, which are important, and then the different types of environments, 4.1, 1.55. And I mean, in a nutshell, the networking is kind of more important. I mean, for some you may not care. It's all about what you're trying to achieve. But for me, I try to keep it as close to production as I possibly can. And as you can see here, I'm missing, I got 240, 238, 237, and then .5. So I wanted to add, this is the VM networks for the ESXi host. So this is for whenever I'm actually hosting them. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just add VMnet 4, .5, and then we'll just add it here. Yeah, it's already there, VMnet 4. Cool. So I had already done all that, and now you have your networking in place. You know what it's always going to be like. You have a starting point in case you ever have to start over. I just wanted to cover that shortly, really. Also, if anyone has any ideas that they would like to share about how to do routing between two VMware Workstation Lab setups, I mean, yes, I am a networking guy, but at the same time, it's a little bit challenging because you have physical and virtual. And then, what I'm thinking is I'm just going to end up adding a secondary NIC to just run all that traffic over and just bridge it. I'm just looking for like a virtual appliance or something that's really good for that, or even a Windows 2008 type solution that's actually been tested and worked, that's documented pretty clearly, or someone to just work with me on setting that up. That would be great too. Again, thanks for joining me today to cover a little bit about the networking, the foundations, and the considerations again of your vSphere lab. Thank you.